Okay, good. We're going live. Okay. So we'll call to order the meeting of the Thomaston Historical Preservation Society, and no, we're not. What are we? We're the Historical
Preservation
Commission. I've been on too many committees lately. We'd like to welcome our guests. Thank you for being here, and so we can ask you questions directly and for showing up. All right, roll call.
Ms. Burdette?
Here.
Mr. Brown? Here. Ms. Tabb?
Here.
Ms. Grammy?
Here.
Ms. Uphold?
Here.
Ms. Hoyle?
Here.
Mr. Haney? Here. Dr. Crawford? Here.
Excellent. Are there any changes to the agenda? Anybody have anything?
Approval of minutes first.
I'll back up.
Moving ahead of us.
I am moving ahead. You have,
We got approved. We got approved.
yeah, we got. All right, so do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting? I'll make that motion. Our February 7th meeting.
Second.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Now we shall adopt the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? Do I hear a motion to adopt the agenda? Second?
Second.
Walter? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Does anybody here have any financial interest in any of these buildings, or any relatives that own any of these businesses? Any financial interest in any of the businesses we're talking about today?
The two-act, I'm on the two-act board, does that matter?
Nope, not unless you have a financial interest.
Okay, well, occasionally I have financial.
But thank you for disclosing that.
Okay.
All right, so our first order of business is 113, West Gordon, Jared Huckabee.
101
Wait,
South
Gordon,
Center.
sorry.
101
I put
South
my
Center.
glasses on now.
This one.
Oh, you take it up, 101 South Center Street, Jared Huckabee. All right.
All right, so Mr. Huckabee is requesting a certificate of appropriateness to, I've included renderings, or Mr. Huckabee has provided renderings of the modification he would like to make to the building located at 101 South Center Street. This building has previously operated as the People's Bank of Georgia. Upon their relocation, which I believe has already occurred, Mr. Huckabee has the intentions of relocating Hometown Printers into this building and pressure washing and cleaning the entire building, replacing all damaged trim around windows and doors, painting all trim to match current paint schemes, adding new signage to the building, and adding new lighting to the building for signage. We have discussed this signage with Mr. John Baxter and Mr. Thompson regarding its compliance with our local sign ordinance. It is in compliance, as it will not be a lit sign. It will be lit by the lights above the sign.
All right.
And then Mr. Huckabee is here to answer any questions you may have of this.
Discussion, questions?
I do have a question. I was walking by the building the other day, and the historic, like, frosted window paneling right there above the front door looked like it was collapsing in. Are you addressing that?
Well, I wasn't planning on it, not until it was, because it's actually been doing that for probably 20 years.
Okay,
So,
okay. I'll let you
and our offices are on the downside of the building, and those windows are the same way.
Okay.
So I'm afraid the only way to address that would be to replace that.
Mhm.
And there's definitely going to be no way to replace it with
Yeah.
what's here. So until it became an actual, problem with water intrusion or obviously safety, my opinion and what I would prefer to do is leave that historical part of that alone until absolute necessary.
I love those windows. I just
Yeah, it
wonder
looks
if there's
great.
anything you could do with them or not.
Yeah, I'm afraid if you do too much with it, it's going down. So
You're going to be removing this People's Bank sign on the window, correct?
that's right.
What about the window on the north side that has the old?
Yeah, the intention was to leave that completely the way it is. Yeah, we don't want to take any of that off. The old drugstore, I think it's a cool little sign that's obviously been there for a very long time, so.
Are you intending to change the name of the business, just out of curiosity, or leaving it as Hometown Printers and just Hometown be like your...
Yeah, hometown is the focus. I
Okay.
mean, the legal name is obviously Hometown Printers, but, you know, we want to do things other than just what's known from Hometown Printers.
Yeah.
So we focus more on calling it Hometown. That way it's, you know, because we do designs, we do, you know, obviously prints. You know, we offer many other services that, you know, we send more faxes than probably anybody in town. Those kind of things. So like I said, we just wanted to kind of focus that. And plus with the name, you go to draw out printers, it makes it a little more difficult to put on the side of the building as well. So we just felt like this would be a little more aesthetically appealing, so.
Or do you plan to put the name on the windows or the doors also?
If we do, it'll be a very small logo, but honestly, probably not.
And so I'll be perfectly honest, this is not a criticism or, you know,
Okay.
we have old design guidelines that are very old that we still follow.
Right?
When I first saw it, I thought it said Chrome Town because I'm visually impaired for one thing.
Right.
And do you have your heart set on that font?
Well, it's not a font. We actually designed that out.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of the new brand.
The new logo.
So that's the new, it's printed on everything and will be continued to print on everything. So it's just one of those things where, you know, people, I feel like people will just know what it is based off of where they're shopping, you know, that kind of thing.
So when I look around town, and so, you know, of course, we've got Hometown in.
Right.
And so they've done a different type of scenario on the other side of the street. And I felt like that it kind of fought with that a little bit.
You mean
The style of the
which, when you say across the street?
bakery.
Oh, yeah, upper crust.
Yeah, upper crust, yeah.
Well, again, it's one of those things where, I mean, do we really want everything, you know, the same style? Or do we want some variety in, you know, the different types of business? You know what I mean? So
And
it's just,
that is a question. That
So-
absolutely is a question.
so, you know, I think if we, and again, my opinion, if we focus too much on making even logos the same, and I think there's a lot of other things we're gonna have to make the same, that, you know, style of the building, you know, what do we, you know, what colors do we use on the buildings? Those kind of things, you know, specifically, we've got some around us in the back that are
Right.
quite eccentric, so.
And we're not trying to get
No,
overly,
yeah.
we're, you know,
Right.
we're trying to, you know, put our input in and,
Sure, sure.
of course, but, I mean, we know you're a good steward of our town and we,
Well, we do our best, that's for sure.
I do have one more question. Is this going to be like raised lettering or is it going to be painted?
No, it'll be lettering off of the wall.
Okay.
So there'll be space lettering off of the wall.
What material are you using for that?
It'll be steel.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
It'll be a very large, very heavy steel sign, but it'll be attached to the building.
is that your handwriting?
No, it's not. There's nowhere near my handwriting, you would really want to say. You don't even know what that is, so.
So the lighting will make it show at night.
Yeah, because, I mean, what we obviously would have loved to have done is lighted it much like People's Bank sign is, but, you know, with the new sign ordinance, that's not allowed, so. About our only option is to light it.
I like the lighting.
Yeah, I think that's very attractive.
I wasn't sure if you needed some to,
Well, we don't want to make it, you know, we're trying to keep it classy,
Yeah.
so.
I think the,
Bright enough, but I mean.
I think the light overhead, I think that'll give off what you're trying to do.
And that's, and lighting would be one of the things, in my opinion, that we do maybe try to focus on throughout downtown
Yeah.
in some way, to where you have those similar style lights.
yeah, that's pretty.
I don't know how far you can take that with business owners being the ones that's paying for it, but maybe
Well-
through DDA you could.
Hey, like I said, you've got a couple buildings in downtown, so we can make sure all of your lighting is uniform.
Yeah. Get a bundle discount from Amazon and we'll,
There you go. All right, any more discussion? Any more questions? All right, discussion's closed. Do I hear a motion to accept the proposal for the 101 South Center Street?
Motion.
I make, so moved.
Wait a second.
All right. Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
next.
101, yes. And 113 West Gordon Street,
All right,
Mr.
so
James Huckabee.
Mr. Huckabee has acquired slices located at 113 West Gordon Street and is looking to paint the exterior of the building with the same color scheme that's currently painted, replace current windows with white vinyl windows, and I believe on the second story, correct?
That's right.
Open the previously existing window and add new white vinyl window that was in the center, the one in the center of the building. Is that correct, Jared?
That's correct.
Add new window railing to all exterior windows on the second floor. Add new lighting for sign and doorway to Loft Apartments, and then add new hand-painted Slices Pizzeria sign. So I have providing a rendering of the current building as well as a rendering of his request for COA. Additionally, with the COA, I have requested a COA, or the city has requested a COA that goes alongside this for the Mural Restoration project. So previously on the side of Slices Pizzeria, there was a Coke mural on the upper left-hand corner, if you flip. And we are looking to restore that mural as a part of our mural restoration project in downtown. So with the COA, it would be for the renovations that Jerry will be making, and then as well as the Coke mural restoration. It kind of just all encompasses one COA.
Discussion? Discussion?
These doors you plan on putting in on the second floor, will they be opening inward to the building?
The
Or
windows?
is it just windows?
Well, it's just a window, yeah. We'll be opening it. Yeah.
Real pretty.
This is just me being nosy. How many lofts are you planning on putting up?
3. The hopes would be the front one here would be probably an Airbnb, being it kind of overlooks the square. And then the back two would be actual apartments, so.
Is that Knowles sign, is that still currently on the building?
It is. It's a sign that's actually attached. That's where this window is.
Oh, I see.
And from the inside, that is not a finished in, that's
It's like
actually.
a window
If
casing.
you walk on the inside, it's clear that that was
There was a window.
That was added.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not even finished in at all on the inside.
Why don't you cover up the window?
I mean, you can see it in the old Duke Studio
Yeah, you can see the old
rendering.
photos, you can see
Oh,
the
okay.
window.
If you look on the second, you can see the old second story window right there.
I should have noticed that.
You provided it.
And just as an added thing, and obviously this would be for a different meeting, but alongside the Coca-Cola mural, the plan is to eventually go completely down the side of the building using the history of the building. So basically, you would have the Coca-Cola kind of slices as the thing it is now. Then the mural would go back into like a Knowles kind of theme, then back all the way through Tri-Studio, Duke Studio, all these different, until you get to the end of the building, and that's kind of the timeline of the building in a way.
That's really
So that would be an ultimate goal for that particular. That way, the building still holds the history of what it has been throughout the years. So
Yeah, that's really cool.
these are the same lights as on the fish oil.
We appreciate that.
And I will tell you that I am absolutely not a fan of vinyl windows at all.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that these windows have been replaced over the years.
These windows are wood at the moment.
That's right. Do you think those are the original windows?
Never not a chance. They're not even- It would be not, we own many houses in town, several of them, 100 years old or less. And the original window is very obvious when there's an original window. Usually the wave in the glass, those kind of things. We basically restored 320 West Gordon recently, which will be 100 years old next year. Next year. Those are original windows, and the same with the house next door that we're doing next, which is 318 West Gordon. Those are original windows. These here are maybe 10 years, 15 years old, maybe. These windows have been in there long enough to rot the window sills, basically.
Right.
But yeah, there are quite a few unique original features inside upstairs, like the old doors, like have the stickers on them from when it was a studio or a hair salon, those kind of things. And our goal there is to actually keep those doors as the front doors for each condo upstairs. But the windows, unfortunately, are not what's been saved. They've actually even been cased in from where they were the original, curved tops, those kind of things.
And because downtown's a local historic district, but there are the Secretary of the Interior standards for rehabilitation. It would always be preferable to see a more, rather than a vinyl window, something more substantial.
Right.
Have you thought about having the mullions black? Have you thought
Having
about
what now?
that?
I'm sorry?
The mullions, the dividers in the windows, have you thought about having those in black instead of white?
Well, the problem with doing them in black just didn't kind of fit the color scheme of the building. My personal preference would probably be to change the color of the building. But, in staying along the lines of trying to keep things the same, then we were just going to repaint the building kind of the same color it was. And I don't know, black, in my opinion, black just wasn't a color. If we repainted the building white or something to that effect, I think black would be, like for instance, we're redoing our house. Well, yeah, we're putting black windows in our home, black, the black one.
Right, yeah.
But our outside of our home, kind of flows with that style of window, as opposed to the stucco here and, yeah, the trim's already white around the windows. That's the current scheme that's there now. The building, we actually pressure washed the building, but it's still, it's stucco, and it's a little, still has some dirt and grime on it, so you can't necessarily tell the color it's actually supposed to be. But and when we say vinyl window, I mean, we're not going to Home Depot and buying $150 windows to put in an Airbnb or an apartment that rents for $3 grand a month. So, but again, the material, I guess, wasn't. I guess I wasn't prepared for the material to be what was necessarily in question, I guess, as far as the style of the window. The point of this was to show that we're replacing the windows.
Right.
So,
and of course, I'm thinking, we have two historic areas in town. We have the National Register area, and then we have the downtown. One of them, if this were in the National Register area, then the Secretary of the Interior, the replacement windows in wood or either restoration of the window would be required, but it's not downtown.
right.
And I really like the
Casing.
the casing that you've done around the windows, because that's in keeping, with the downtown area. The Juliet balconies are cute.
Should we like the addition of the Juliet balconies?
Any other questions, discussion?
I'm just curious about the loft apartments. How many?
3.
And that's something the city's identified as a huge need in downtown Thomaston, having more residential opportunities. So we appreciate your intent on trying to establish that.
This upstairs is extremely large. It's a little deceiving, I guess, from the outside, but bottom and top floor have 16-foot ceilings.
That's gonna be great.
It's a very large building. And the upstairs is somewhat already separated because it was businesses before. So, it has been a while, but those businesses still separated the way those businesses were. And it appears it must have been mid-'60s maybe when that stopped, because one of the doors has a sticker, that says something like something from the war or something. I think 1965 was the date on the sticker. So that tells me had to have been somewhere in that range when that door was last used. So, but it also looks like it's from 1965 over there too. But work on that.
Do I hear a motion to approve 113 West Gordon and the mural, the Coca-Cola mural on the side?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. 113 West Gordon is approved.
The next item up for discussion is going to be COA for 119 West Gordon Street. Ms. Natalia Bell has purchased English's Cafe and will be locating her real estate agency inside of the building. She's looking for a COA to attach a new metal sign to the top of the building, as well as put some UV window protection tinting on the windows to prevent the sun from going in throughout the day. Ms. Bell, do you have anything else to comment?
No. Is the building going to stay the same color it is now, the gray?
And you're going to leave the English's Cafe sign up, correct?
Yes. That's wonderful.
We appreciate that.
Thank you for doing that.
Coming in
Asking for those hamburgers.
They already do.
She's gonna sit on the slices. Tell them they should eat pizza anyway.
I would rather something about one of those burgers, man.
I'm sorry, everybody's like this.
Hey, take that recipe down to Sunnyside Tavern, right?
Yeah. Because we had a lot of out-of-town tour, you know, they would come back and say, oh, this is, I don't live here anymore, but I would come in.
To the pool room.
Yes, I
I
guarantee
think
you
they're about to
they'll.
start their food truck thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Lulu is, yeah.
they can park it in front of us.
I think she said it was coming in this week, I believe, so.
Is there any exterior lighting that you,
Not right now. Not a plan.
And I believe that she's got a pole right there in front of her building as well, so it's pretty well, that little area is pretty well lit at night.
Right.
well, just watch out for cars.
Yes.
That's what I was gonna ask. I know it's not a part of this approval, but, do you have an update on what it would take to get some
Ballast?
ballast there?
You know, from my understanding, GDOT is not approving ballast on the right-of-way. What they are doing right now is they're doing a speed study in downtown. We have requested the speed limit be reduced to 25 miles an hour in all directions, entering and exiting downtown Thomaston. And then I'm in the process of applying for a Connected Resilient Communities designation in hopes of working with UGA to develop an enhanced streetscape plan for downtown Thomaston to make some walkability and pedestrian safety improvements, with one of those key issues being to address the traffic issue and how we can be more accommodating for our local downtown businesses and with the traffic that's coming through downtown Thomaston.
I noticed in one of these pictures, one of the quality clean a little bit, I think, the speed limit sign says 15 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So we have historic precedent. So
Can y'all
the-
historically preserve the speed limit?
Yeah, absolutely. If you find that sign.
If GDOT will accept it, then yes.
Whatever they want, right?
So the tinting that you're going to put, that's just the darker tint? It's not
Yeah,
like
kind of
a,
brown, nothing too, I don't think you should be able to see anything.
It's just more for the light coming into your
Yeah,
building
it's
to
just-
keep from heating the interior of the building.
But
and-
also a little bit of privacy too.
Yeah.
You know. I just don't want everybody like being.
Creeping in. And when are you expecting to open in downtown?
A couple of weeks.
Couple weeks.
are you going to put any signage on the doors or the windows?
I would like to, probably, not even signs, more like hours, maybe, name, the logo, the brand, nothing big, maybe on the door.
It's kind of hard to see in this photo, but what color is the lettering going to be?
It's a rose, kind of rose color.
Okay.
It's like a rose pink and black.
Yeah.
Any more questions? Discussion? All right, discussion's closed. Do I hear a motion to approve 119 West Gordon Street signage and,
Motion.
I'll second that.
any opposed? All right. All those in favor? Aye. I did that backwards.
You
Today's
did.
today's backwards day.
No worries.
All right, 201 South Center Street.
Okay, so I was hoping my representative from TUAC could join us. She wasn't able to make it, but I will go ahead and run this by you guys. And this may be something we table, and I only say that because I believe, so 201 South Center is the Fincher building, which DBM Rentals owns. DBM is a housing company for McElroy. McElroy, a real estate agency, owns this property. I believe they are looking to take advantage of our facade grant in downtown Thomaston and fully paint the building, replace some of the rotting trim, rotting wood on the exterior of the building, really clean the building up. But TUAC is wanting to put wings on the side of the building as like a little photo area. I've included a couple of different concepts. If you would like to go ahead and approve something, you can. If we want to table this until they come back with a full facade grant application, which I, fingers crossed, we'll have for the April meeting, we can do that as well. It's completely up to you. But if we table it until our April meeting and they come back with a full facade grant application, I can have a full rendering of the building with, the proposed painting of the building, as well as a rendering of a couple different options with these, with the wings.
I'll make a motion to table it to the April meeting.
Second.
All right.
Okay.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we'll table that one.
And 2-Act just wants to paint the building with some.
2-Act just wants to put some wings on the side of the building for a photo, like a little photo area for downtown Thomaston. But I believe they're looking to take advantage of the facade grant, McElroy is. So they want to go in and paint the building, like paint the entire building.
Yeah.
So I would much rather than paint the building and then we paint the wings on there, then we paint the wings and then go back after the fact and fix all the trim and paint the building again. Does that make sense? Let's do it all as one project.
Oh, yeah.
All right, 215 South Center Street, City of Thomaston.
These next two COAs are going to be for our mural restoration projects. So the first one that I've included is for 211 South Center Street, and that's going to be Cook's Market. I believe I may have showed you these renderings last meeting, but the first picture is of the former RC Cola mural on the side of Cook's Market from back in the day. So as you can see, that wall is no longer there. That's actually where Papa John's little entrance is now. But we're looking to recreate the mural on the other side of the building, so across from Baby Lanes. So if you flip over that next page, you'll see the mural that was actually on the side of Cook's Market that is going to be recreated across from Baby Lanes on the side of Cook's Market. So the big piece of this, we're trying to bring back some of these nostalgic murals in downtown Thomaston. I worked with Jameson to try to identify some of these murals that we could replicate, and this would be one of the key ones with the fact Thomaston had an RC Cola factory and a Coca-Cola factory at one time.
Discussion, any more questions, discussion? Haven't thought about that. Now, who's gonna do the work on that?
So it's a group of UGA students called Color the World Bright, and I found them because they did a project down in Hawkinsville, Georgia, and basically that's what they do. They come in and they restore some of your nostalgic classic murals throughout the state for a third of the price. They want their students to have that first-hand experience, so they'll come in and do the work, and they'll do it for a third of the price. So we're actually looking to have all three of these murals painted in downtown Thomaston for just over $11,000. And when you talk about murals, I think the city may have paid $23,000 for the one on the side of English's Cafe. So to have all three of these restored back to their original standard for $11,000, you really can't.
Are those wheels gonna be on there?
The wheels will not be on there. The wheels will not be on there.
And somebody's gonna ask that question.
So is that new
Those
mural
wheels,
gonna be
those
where,
wheels.
I'm looking at the old picture, is it gonna be where the awning was on the building, on the front of the building?
Yes, sir. So there's like right now, there's a little
That's an old picture.
between the windows. There's a set of windows on the right side and a set of windows on the left side. If you're looking at Cook's from Baby Lanes, so where Baby Lanes is, there's windows right here and windows right here, and there's a big brick area in the center. It's going to be right there.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
So right now it's just kind of a cream color wall. So I think having this beautiful RC Cola mural would look a lot better than a cream color wall. And that's coming right into downtown Thomaston. So anybody coming up 19 South, they're going to see that when they're coming into downtown Thomaston, which I think will be a really cool, piece.
And when you think about it too, that actually is part of history. That would actually be nice, wouldn't it?
It would.
To
The Cook's piece.
Looking at the Cook's piece across the top. And that would be appropriate to put that on there.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what Jerry
Yeah.
was saying. I love that idea about adding on, those old signs as well.
And they're still there, and it's the side of their building. I think that would, I would recommend that actually.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I've already talked to Nick. Nick is fine with us with giving an easement to us to do this work. And I'm sure he would be fine with adding on if we wanted to include the Marvin Cook's self-service home-owned or something like that.
Lovely.
I think it'd be a cool little addition.
Yeah, just exactly like that.
Again, paying homage to the history of Cooks in the community, because I know from a personal aspect, many years my grandma worked there, and I used to get dropped off at the bus in Cooks parking lot, and Mr. Barry would give me $5 if I made all A's on my report card.
I
So
love that.
I've got some really special personal history in that for that
That's
building.
wonderful. Absolutely. So you do have a financial interest.
From the previous owners. Mr. Berry no longer owns it.
So do I need to disclose my great grandpa worked there?
So do I hear a motion to accept this and to include the wording for Cook's, Marvin Cook's self-service, home-owned, I love that.
So moved.
With that condition?
Motion.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we are approved. That's really nice. All right, 100 West Main.
All right, again, let me write this down real quick. Now we want to include Marvin Cook's wage.
And if we can find that speed limit sign,
I'm
Jared will
saying,
find
right?
it. Jared printed us a new sign, weren't you? 15,
Certainly will.
15
We'll
miles an
enforce
hour.
it, absolutely. Bring as many as you want.
All right, the next one is for Day Realty. Again, I'm on behalf of the city of Thomaston. So I've included a picture of the mural, and can you tell me when this picture might be from?
Oh, God.
What is it?
40s, 50s,
What are those people doing?
sweeping the streets.
Based on the car, maybe 40s.
So from the 40s, we had a Royal Crown Cola mural on the second floor of the current Day Realty building. So we are looking to replace that Royal Crown mural on the second story of Day Realty. And I've been talking with Miss Jen and Mr. Gerald about doing this, and they seem to be excited about the project as well. Again, I'm looking to kind of restore some of these classic nostalgic murals that we've once had in the landscape of downtown Thomaston.
Discussion, questions?
Yeah, bowling and billiards on the second story of the Chamber and Teresa Harper's location. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's still there.
Is it? So what do they use it for?
Yeah.
Any questions about the mural?
When do you propose to start them?
So these we're looking to have these completed alongside of our Art and Soul Festival in April. So the goal is to have all three of these murals done by April 24th, and we'll do a mural reveal in downtown Thomaston that Sunday where we reveal these new downtown murals.
Awesome.
That'd be neat. All right. Do I hear a motion to approve 100 West Main?
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
All right. Last but not least, I wanted to discuss our historic resource survey. So during our CLG application, Certified Local Government application, we had to provide some of the documentation for our historic district. We have a historic resource survey and we have a design guidelines. Our historic resource survey is from 1988 and our design guidelines are from 1998. We need to update these. City Council has allocated $15,000 to update our historic resource survey. It's something that will get us into compliance with the Certified Local Government, which is a component of the Department of Community Affairs, Historic Preservation department. So essentially, Jameson and I have reached out to several different entities across the state looking for requests, proposals to complete a historic resource survey for us. We've had 2 companies submit proposals. The first being from Mr. John Cassani, and then the second being from WLA Studios. I'm going to let Jameson kind of talk about, I think Mr. Cassani has done some work for us previously, correct?
Yes. Well, the extent of his experience here, he may have coordinated with the Historic Preservation Commission on multiple occasions, but our guidelines manual that was created in 1998, it says in the front it was written by him. So he already has familiarity with the area. I love in the back of the guidelines manual, he mapped out each location that is currently in the historic district and made recommendations for each building. So I mean, he already has that experience around here, so.
So he's done some work in the community. WLA actually completed our master plan this past year, so they've also done some work in the community. So if you flip to page 5 in Mr. Cassani's proposal, his total project fee can be seen there. It says fee proposal at the very top. Right there, I think y'all got it. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
So that is Mr. Cassani's total project fee at the very bottom. And then if you look at WLA, their total project fee is it's listed under Article 3, Schedule of Fees on the first page.
In the interest of saving the taxpayers in this town some money, I think there's a pretty clear and evident option.
Yeah, as you can see, there's a big difference.
And again, I wanted to present both options with you guys. I think both groups would do a very good job for us. They've done work for us in the past, and it's definitely been up to par. But as Matt said, there seems to be a very distinct difference between the two proposals. And if we can, have the project completed well under budget, then we can utilize some of these fundings to work on some other projects we have going on in town. So staff recommendation would be to move forward with Mr. Cassani's proposal in the amount of $3,200.
One other thing I noticed about his resume that we talked about, it said that he had formerly worked with the Yeager Company, which eventually became WLA. So I feel like either way, you can't go wrong with the experience.
Both
there.
excellent. Yeah. Right. Do I hear a motion to accept Mr. Cassani's proposal?
Motion.
Second.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Very good.
All right, and I just update you guys on that. What that means is I will contact Mr. Cassani and let him know that he has been chosen to move forward with this project. We are on the waiting list through HP, the DCA Historic Preservation Department. So basically, they do these projects in steps. So I believe we will be the next city that will be allowed to move forward with a historic resource survey and provide access to, it's called, what is that? Nargis? Nargis. Basically, it's a data entry system that the state uses, but they can only give so many accesses at certain times. So more than likely, we'll probably be finishing up this project mid-year, mid to third quarter of the year.
Right. And this is a requirement of
The state.
to be a certified, we are a
Local
certified
government.
local government, and this is one of our requirements, and it's been long overdue. So thank you for doing that.
Two other things in other business.
All right.
In other business, did want to let you guys know to remember we do have one more vacancy on this board. So if you do have anyone that you'd like to recommend, please let me know. I can give you a resume form, and I can present that to council at next Tuesday, the 15th council session. Secondly, Russell wanted me to pose a question to you guys. With the influx of potentially having new businesses in downtown Thomaston and our work when it comes to signage, he wants to know if grand opening signs should be permitted by the HPC. Currently they are not. Currently under the sign ordinance, for those little flag signs and the ones that stay outside, say like Pop Shelf right now, they have a 30-day limit of when those signs can be used. After those 30 days, those signs are not allowed under the new sign ordinance. It would be the same case, so in a sense, those little flag signs, if a new business in downtown would put those out, they can do that for the first 30 days. So any of you guys, you want to move hometown printers, you want to put a little flag sign outside, you could do that for the first 30 days. After 30 days, they have to be removed. That makes sense? He just wants to know if you guys feel that we should permit those through HPC or not.
Discussion?
I would not permit those if there's a temporary thing like drum up your business. I think as a soon-to-be business owner of this town, I think that's reasonable for someone to put that out since it's a non-permanent.
I would agree as well.
I think we're more long-term.
Tempe, Walter, what do you think?
Cool. I will give Mr. Thompson y'all's recommendation.
Thank you very much. All right, any other business? Anything anybody wants to bring up? All right, we want to welcome Allison Uphold, our new member.
Thanks for joining us today, Allison.
We just let you sit over there in the corner for the whole time.
But
You did.
We are
Appreciate
very,
you.
very happy to have you.
Thank you.
And
Glad
thank
to be
you
here.
for taking your time to
Thank
serve. We appreciate it.
I would like to compliment these folks on working to
Absolutely.
improve downtown Thomasville.
Yes, yes.
Really,
We really do appreciate that. Thank you very much. And you do some good printing too, but.
Yeah, that was going to be my
Investigate.
comment. I just brought a lot of material there for a World War II exhibit that I'm working on, and they did such a great job. So I was very, very proud.
Very good.
There's a very different comments from what you said the last time you used hometown for some stuff.
Yes.
So great improvement, guys. You guys are doing awesome. Appreciate you guys. Yes. Prior to the new ownership.
Do I hear a motion
Yes.
to adjourn?
I'll make that.
Yeah.
We'll check that way.
That's right. Second. All right, all in favor? All right, we are adjourned, and it's, what, about?
2:45.
2:45. We move fast.
Most of it's complete, but I still need to type
That was painless.